Somebody thinks this is doing no good. They think that it's not doing any good for me to make videos and put them on YouTube. They think it's not doing any good for me to make videos and email them. I had to print off 3 different copies of the prayer. And it's not doing any good documenting crime. Now, that wouldn't be a police officer that thinks that way, would it? Let's say you're a police officer, and you refuse to enforce the laws because in your mind you don't have to enforce the law. But every time I document a crime, as simple as changing the court record, because I thought it was January 5th of 2015, but then I noticed it was January 4th. Could somebody go through all those screen prints where I had printed off the actual court dates on the Superior Court website? Yeah, the Supreme Court website. Did anybody change the dates on anything on any of the web pages? Because if you're changing my dates, you're changing the dates on other persons that happen to have district court cases, yes, or superior court cases. Now, when I find any change, because you're a police officer and you think that there is no possible way that I will be able to sue you for every documented lawsuit, you are absolutely confident. Now, did you change the date from January 5th to January 4th? Because I thought it said January 5th of 2016 instead of January 4th of 2016. Now, I could be wrong, okay? I was arraigned on January 5th. Yes. And there seemed to be this question with Judge Porter, where you don't have to give actual notice to the respondent, but you can obligate the spending of my money or myself having to enroll in some sort of medical insurance to pay for the court orders. Well, why don't we go through every web page of every Supreme Court website in every state and see if anybody has changed any of the dates? Because every time I find, I'll fucking sue every fucking court in the United States. Now, you have to remember, if you're doing it to me, you're doing it to somebody else. And doing it does not mean having sexual intercourse or fucking the brains of somebody else. It means that if you're committing a crime against myself as a citizen, you're committing crimes against somebody else as a citizen. I'm not the only target of those in law enforcement that think that they don't have to enforce the laws when I document the crime. Now, you've thought that for the last 7 years, but the truth of the matter is, it is doing some good. I have that confidence in myself that when I make it known to the rest of the world, you not enforcing the laws, the rest of the world knows that you're not. That makes it available to sue you, Jefferson County, yes, Washington State, oh, every state of the United States, the United States of America, and quite possibly other nations that think that the United States does not have to enforce their laws. So if you thought that what I was doing was not doing any good, I want you to think like I do, where every time I document a crime, the crime of not changing my address, the crime of arresting me, when you know that's not the address on the failure to appear because you didn't change the address in 2016. Because you wanted to arrest me and swim, didn't you? It was a premeditated, planned, deliberate arrest for a failure to appear, where you did not give me 5 judicial days before a court hearing. You did not give me notice from the state of jurisdiction, and you refused to change my actual address. Now, you remember this crime that I allegedly committed where it says here, homeless. Oh, why didn't they put 1023 Kitchen Dick Road? Carlsbad. Why didn't they put that there? Oh, well, if this is the address, yes, where the city of Clallam County, state of Washington's plaintiffs, yes, issue the failure to appear to, and you must have sent it to me, or is this something that only law enforcement gets? Now, you would think that if there was a warrant for the arrest of someone, yeah, you would tell them. And when I email you every day, thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of emails, ooch, so they add up to more than 1,800,000, could be closer to 1,900,000 now. Yes, your absolute refusal to change my address when you know that I am not living there. Ooch. It looks to me like you intentionally wanted me to not get mail. Oh. Now, there was this discussion that we had during the arraignment where Brett Roberts, the deputy prosecuting attorney of Jefferson County, had said, well, Your Honor, he did know there was a court hearing, but that's not the same as getting notice of the court hearing, because I specifically asked law enforcement to find out what it was about. And then when I asked Judge Landis during the video arraignment, well, what judge, what address do you know? She's like, I don't know. It's your last known address. You mean the address that they did not? You wanted me to deliberately miss the court hearing. Oh, so that you could put me in jail. Oh, now that's another lawsuit. Now, I might have mentioned that before, but when it involves not changing the address, as in putting Paul Chad Budnick homeless, yes, Port Angeles, Washington, that would mean that you would have had to contact the police or sheriff's department in Port Angeles, Washington. Yes, and they would have had to give me actual notice of the state of jurisdiction. So this is a different type of lawsuit. It's a lawsuit where judges issue $500,000 bail bonds. And then when I get arrested and transported across county lines, this county intentionally did not change that address so that I would intentionally not get notice of court hearings. So they could arrest me. They could put me in jail. And they could obligate me to have to be video arraigned so that they, well, it's another different kind of lawsuit. Okay. Now, if you think what I'm doing does not matter to myself or the rest of the world, you could be sorely mistaken. Now, why don't you dumb fuckers, okay, in the rest of the nation, every sheriff and police officer, realize that I can sue every single one of you? Now, you thought what I was doing was stupid because you're the chief of police or you're the deputy chief of police and you do not have to enforce the laws. But it happens to be that the pastor at 1023 Kitchen Dick Road, yes, is the same individual that's exploiting his adopted daughter from Haiti. The same individual where I've said that I want to speak to Marilyn Van Proyen about her being a volunteer. The same person that paid you to make sure that you didn't change the ad. Oh, come to find out. Pastor Mike Van Proyen of Kingsway Foursquare Church came some money so that you wouldn't change the address, so that I would get a... I think what I'm doing is doing some good. Now, why don't you let me speak to Marilyn Van Proyen? And why don't you arrest that pastor for being a total fucking piece of shit, causing me to have to go to jail numerous times because it looks like the way that you are going is going to cause you to get sued and go to prison.